Welcome to the Nerd Cave for the win. I am Zach, joined along with,
as always, Robbie.
Robbie. We're starting this a little bit into the basketball season, but
It's only halfway through, but you know.
we hadn't even hit the All-Star break. Trade deadlines aren't even done yet, so we're still in it.
Almost halfway.
Almost halfway, but better late than never.
Heck yeah.
What we're doing in this Nerd Cave for the win, we're picking our game of the week, not necessarily
The best game, but what we think is the best game. It's probably not matching up with like ESPN or anything like that. But it's you know,
the most entertaining.
most entertaining, and usually like we have
Week 1 we have the Trailblazers versus the Hawks, which is the number 1 in the East and the number 3 in the West.
Yeah. So I mean, we try to pick, like I said, what our opinion of as to which is the best game of the week, and like he said, we chose the Trailblazers and the Hawks, which is going to be a good one.
Yeah, it's a good one. We're doing this post playing the game, but
yeah,
it was a good game. I think. Well, let's go down our rosters first. For the Trailblazers, what they're looking at these days, of course, LaMarcus Aldridge is out there. Nicholas Batum. You have, of course, Damian Lillard out there. Chris Kaman is now playing in the start because Robin Lopez has a broken arm. And you have Wesley Matthews. That makes
he could always shoot lefty. I mean, pansy.
Yeah, well, he's harassing mascots these days, so
it happens.
He gets paid millions of dollars to do that. But that's the starting five for Portland. What is your starting five?
You have one of the better players on the team, Al Horford.
Mm-hmm.
You have
Paul Millsap as well.
Paul Millsap, Jeff Teague at point guard. You got Kent Bazemore. I mean, players like that. I mean, you got, I don't know if I said DeMar Carroll or anything like that, but, I mean, we don't have that star-studded cast, so you got, I mean, so many unselfish basketball players playing, and, I mean, that's what I mean, don't get me wrong, I love watching a superstar, you know,
dominate.
But it's so good and refreshing every now and then to see a team that doesn't have any really big name. Paul Millsap and Al Horford, it's about the biggest names you got on that team. I mean, they're great players. All of them are really good players. They're sound players. That's better than what I was trying to say. But like, they work together in such a like harmony and accord that, I mean, I'd rather watch them than. I'd rather have that team than a team that has so dependent on a superstar. Like when Kevin Durant and Russell Westbrook went down, what happened to the OKC?
They blew up.
Exactly.
They couldn't do anything because they depend on their production so much.
Exactly, and look at the Lakers. They poured all the money into Kobe Bryant, and they don't have any besides
Nick Young,
Swaggy P or whatever his nickname is, Nick Young. They really don't have anybody to, you know, carry the load because they put all that money towards
Black Snake Moan.
Yeah, Black Mamba. Which the other night he had more assists, like than points. He had like, I want to say it was like 11 assists in one game.
Wow,
it's not very Kobe-esque.
No, I think he's finally becoming a smart about things. But when you make that much production, you know.
Yeah.
But I think that with Portland, the thing to remember is they do pass the ball. It is very important in that team. But you also have that star power as well with Damian Lillard and LaMarcus Aldridge.
Yeah.
And I think that those two are really going to impact it. I can't stress that enough. And then you have the bench as well that's going to come into play because Steve Blake is that veteran player that really helps Portland in that area because he's been there, he's played for the Lakers, he's played for Portland. So he knows how to command the floor and he doesn't take silly shots like a lot of younger backup point guards would.
Yeah, and the Hawks have Dennis Schroeder. They have Thabo Cephalosha, which was with the Thunder back when they made that final run.
And the Heat put them down.
The Heat did put them down.
Like a dog with rabies.
But I do think that a lot's gonna be on the bench, and I do believe that the Hawks bench is going to outscore Portland's, not by much, but I think it's going to be just enough to help give them that edge. And the way that all these players for the Hawks, like you got Carroll and Corver, all of them, they're super good. They're like elite almost at 3-point shooting. And you got Al Horford and Paul Millsap in the center. I mean,
yeah, recently the Hawks are actually in the top 5 of 3-point shooting.
Yes, Wizards are 2, so I don't know who's won now.
I'm not
probably the Golden State.
Yeah, probably, because that's all they do.
Mm-hmm. Splash Bros.
Yeah, which Thompson's been tearing it up lately.
Clay.
But I think even with that, I still say that Portland's going to win it. It's not going to be very much, but they're going to win it.
Yeah.
Because they lost by less than 10 points last game, 8 points.
Yep, it was 115 to 107.
So it wasn't that close. I mean, it wasn't that far apart. And the thing last time is foul trouble really got some of the star players.
And turnovers.
Whoa, 19 turnovers.
Which, I mean, the Hawks.
They swoop in.
They'll swoop in. They'll pick the bread basket clean, man.
Oh yeah, that's the name of the game, is if you can get those easy.
They double team. I mean, they're so well coached. I think they're one of the, besides Popovich, I cannot remember the coach's name for the Hawks to save my life right now, but he is doing a great job of calling double teams when he needs to, and I mean that's where you force a lot of your turnovers, because I mean.
Mm-hmm. Well, and when they played OKC, Teague actually picked Russell Westbrook. His name is the hardest to say. I hate saying it. But he picked him and dunked on him.
I mean, Teague isn't a widely known point guard, but he's still good. I mean, I'm not gonna say he's an elite point guard like up there with John Wall or anybody like that. I'm saying he's a step below them, but he's still excellent at producing.
Yeah, and I think with Damian Lillard, he produces on such a higher scale because he is that clutch. He has that turn on, okay, I'm going to have to win the game at the last. You saw in the finals when they played Houston. He hit that shot. That shot is made him, which he had an amazing, season that year, but that shot, everybody knows that shot.
Well, I don't like when a team has just one person, because if that team knows, okay, hey, Damian Lillard is going to be most likely their clutch go-to, I'm going to make sure he's covered in the inbound, and then you're going to give it to, someone who can't create as much space as him. But, I mean, you give the Hawks, anybody can be the clutch player at any time they want or they need.
Oh, yeah. Well, the starting lineup for Portland, anybody can do that, but Damian Lillard just has, he's definitely the star. But Aldridge, he could easily do it. He's got that physical prowess in the paint. Batum, he gets so many double-doubles and triple-doubles, it's crazy. Like, he's a solid player. And then you get Wesley Matthews, So it's definitely Lillard is the go-to man if you could play with him, which you'll,
If I'm going to go in and make my pick, I'm going to say Hawks take it 96-94. It's going to be a defensive battle because both these teams they're great offensively, but they're great defensively, and I think it's going to come down to more of a defensive battle.
Yeah, I think it's going to be definitely defensive. It might get up into the hundreds, but I doubt it gets very high in there. I would say I had another number. I'm going to change it. I'm going to say 95-92, somewhere around there. But I'm saying Portland is going to take it.
Okay.
And the reason why is because of that it factor that Damian Lillard has. And I know the Hawks are on a 16 or 17.
17, because they were on a 16-game winning streak when they played the Wizards, and I don't think they've lost. They haven't lost since they played the Wizards. I don't know who they've played after that.
Yeah.
But at that time, they were on a 16-game.
Yeah, so they're on a streak right now, but nothing makes another team more hungry to beat somebody than when they're on a streak.
Oh yeah, but like I'm not saying this because I'm an East boy or anything like that. I just think that they have the it factor, but the Hawks, they don't have, like I said, that one guy to go to. They have so many different options that they can throw out there. So many different groups of guys that they could toss out there to make life hectic on the other team. So I think with great coaching, the Hawks take it.
Yeah, I think with the ability that Portland has, that it's going to be Portland all over. And because they do have that passing ability, assist, and all of that. But it's going to be a good game. So if you want to watch a good game, this is the one I would highly suggest this week to watch. And I want to say the Wizard game. Who do they play?
Wizards take on...
is it Golden State or the Warriors? Rockets. I'm not sure. But anyway, this is the one we're picking.
Yeah, I know we play Toronto. So
yeah, that's it. It's the Wizards, Toronto. Both of those games would be really good. Now, while you're watching this, we're probably going to speed it up a lot. So, we played 8-minute quarters, and it definitely proved to the downfall of Sir Robbie.
Yeah, okay, when we play basketball all the time, I always play as my team, the Wizards. Which, it's great because I'm pretty good with the Wizards. But it also leads to the downfall with these games of the week because I don't normally play with these teams. The Hawks have a completely different style than the Wizards do. Different style of shooting, different styles of playing.
You got to get that team basketball, that moving around is the key for them.
And I failed to do that. And with learning a new shot, like with Zach, he plays with a bunch of different teams, so he's used to a wider variety of shots than I am. So it's easier for him to pick up with other teams than I am. So and that's one reason that there was such a wide margin of victory was because he was able to learn their shots a lot quicker than us. He learned it like halfway through the first quarter, near the end of it.
Yeah.
And I learned it near the end of the third quarter, which at that point it was
all said and done at that point.
It was just having fun.
For anyone that does play NBA 2K, my suggestion for anyone, yes, you can have your favorite team, but if you play with other teams, that gets you better equipped to defend those teams because you know which players on each team, where they shoot, what their strengths are, and everything. And
I went in playing with the Hawks, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna give it to this guy. He, obviously you think small forwards, they're pretty decent at shooting threes. Well, the small forward I had in at the time was not such a small forward. So it's all about learning how that team plays, their strengths, their weaknesses. Because what I was using was the Hawks' weaknesses to try to beat Zach, and you can't beat somebody with weakness. So that was my lesson for today.
Yep. There's no weakness, there is only strength. But definitely my suggestion, because this is something I've definitely done this year more than any other year, is play with other teams. It's definitely made me a better player than it has in the past, because I used to just play with Miami because LeBron was on there, and still a Miami fan, but definitely this year I've played with more teams against you or anybody else just because when someone uses that team, I'm like, oh, this player is good here, so I'm better able to defend them. So that's
pretty much the only other team I played was the Magic when me and our friend Marshall decided to play the crap game of the 76ers and the Magic, which was god-awful.
Well, you had Oladipo at least.
Yeah. Oh, Victor.
Yep. But that's the Zach tip of the week for NBA.
Oh, so that's going to be a thing now.
Yep,
All right.
the Zach tip of the week. But
I got to come up with something catchy for myself.
Well, just I think after they see this video, I don't think they're going to take much.
Wait till we play the next game.
Hey, the next game, which next week's NerdCave for the win
FTW.
is the Golden State Warriors against the Atlanta Hawks, the battle of the number ones, East and West.
Well, at this time.
At this point in time of airing. And Robbie, like the person that he is.
Nice guy that he is.
He picked the Golden State Warriors, which has
not going down the long, hard path of the Rockets.
No, it wasn't the Rockets.
Not
it was
the Rockets, but the Hawks. My bad.
And I had unfortunately had to play with the Hawks, which wasn't that bad, but when you go up against a team that plays my style of basketball compared to not playing my style of basketball, it's a lot harder. But it was a very good game, very close game.
I think I ended up winning by like
Five.
Can't.
You're not giving things
You
away.
didn't hear that.
Yeah. Magic of editing. But next week, definitely tune into that. And if you are into, let's say, podcast.
What's a podcast, you say?
It is like an internet radio show.
So like an internet talk show.
Yes.
Okay, sweet.
Yes. We have 4 podcasts.
We do.
Yes, we do.
Yeah, sweet.
You're part of one.
I am.
Yes.
For some reason, I can't remember these things.
Yeah, amnesia from the horrible beating that you took at my hands tonight.
I fell down the stairs.
Yeah. He's like, and I just hit him. But we have 4 podcasts every week. We have the NerdCave podcast, which airs on Tuesday, Fist of Monkey on Wednesday, the Derek Dime Experience on Thursdays, and
Time for Comics.
Time for Comics on Fridays. And you can find that on iTunes. You just search NCN, and then it'll pop up the NerdCave podcast. Just click it. All 4 shows will show up there.
And if you don't have iTunes or anything like that, you can go to our website, www.nerdcavenetwork.com. All our episodes are there, and any kind of articles that we have is on our website. If you want some good reading or some good listenings, tune in.
Yes, definitely like and subscribe on this video. We'll be putting out one every week.
Share with your friends.
Yes, definnely share it on YouTube.
Caring.
You know, this is something that we're trying to do more and more of, and
trying to get out there, reach a whole other
market.
Yep.
But if you're wanting something to listen to while you play NBA 2K instead of the announcers, pop it on the NerdCave.
They do
podcast.
I love Shaq and I love all them guys, but
Steve Kerr and all of that.
Yeah, I love those guys, but when you hear the same stuff over
and over,
it gets old.
Yep, it does.
You can just listen to our soothing voices,
our docile tones.
How does that make you feel?
Oh, yeah. But anyway, definitely make sure to check those out. Yeah, it did. It definitely did. And I hope you have enjoyed this video, and catch you next week.
Later.